Hello, this is lesson 1 of unit 8.1, and you want to be learning about angles in parallel lines. So this lesson is, your learning objective is to know how to calculate alternate and corresponding angles in parallel lines. When you finish this lesson, you'll be expected to do Haggerty math clips 481 and 482, alternate angles and co-interior angles. So let's begin. Make sure you copy down your learning objective. Okay, so success criteria. You can recognize alternate angles, you can recognize corresponding angles, and you can solve angle problems using these new skills that you're going to practice. So take 10 minutes now and complete your starter grid. Okay, so pause the video and do these questions. So 3-second warning. I'm going to move the video on. So your answers are here. Okay, so make sure you've checked your work, marked your work, and you've got them all correct. If you haven't, just check it on Haggerty Maths or send your teacher an email. Let's look at some angle facts. Okay, angles on a straight line sum to 180. What that means is that if you have a straight line, and that means that A add B add up to 180, because 180 degrees is a straight line angle. That's why if you look at your protractor, you've got two numbers. You've always got an outside number and an inside number in your protractor. Depends what way you're measuring it from, but the two add up to 180. Angles around a point. So around a point, so this is like a big circle, and it's 360 degrees. It doesn't have to have 3 angles, it can have more. So if I did something like that, all those angles would add up to 360 degrees. Okay, vertically opposite angles are equal. Okay, so C equals D. Okay, because it's called vertically opposite, but it's A and B that are vertically opposite. But it works both ways if you turn it around. So A and B. Okay, so A equals B and C equals D. Okay, so you can use that. If you were told that that was, say, 60 degrees, then you could say that was 60 degrees. And then you can use the rest of the rules to find out the other two. So all adds up to 360. So 360 take away 120 is 240. 240 divided by 2 is 120. So A and B would be 120. Okay. And the most common one is if you 90, 90, 90, and 90. Okay, angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. Okay, angles in a quadrilateral add up to 360 degrees. Okay, moving on. Right, let's look at parallel lines. These arrows tell me that this line is parallel to this line, right? So, you know, they go on, no matter how long you draw these two lines, they won't ever meet. Okay, so I can say that A equals B. So this line that cuts through them, right, this is called a transversal. Okay, and that cuts through them, and they're alternate, they're on either side of that line. Okay, so A equals B, and the easiest way to recognize these is, if you can see a Z. Okay, so these two angles are equal. Now if I turn that round, as long as these two angle lines are parallel, these two angles would be equal. I can turn it back to front, stretch it, these two angles are equal. So there's lots of combinations for it. Always it's on either side of the line that cuts. So A equals B, alternate angles. Okay, corresponding angles. So B is in the same position relative to this as A. So it's corresponding to that. Okay, and just as a little visual help, can you see a sort of an F? Now that F can be back to front, can be upside down, can be a mirror image. Okay, always that angle is corresponding to that angle. This angle corresponds to this, this angle corresponds to this, and this angle corresponds to this. So corresponding angles are equal. Co-anterior. So imagine I finished this off and turned it into a parallelogram. Okay, x plus y equals 180 degrees. So co-anterior is a C or a U, okay, or an upside down square U, and the two angles inside add to 180. Okay, so example 1, find the missing angle and give a reason. Okay, so CHG. So I'm going to start at C, I'm going to go to H, I'm going to go to G, and that means I'm looking for this angle here. Okay, so what is that alternate to? So let's see, if I draw a line up to there, I can see a back to front Z. So 125, so CHG equals 125 degrees, and it's corresponding. Okay, that's the reason. OPD, so we go to O, down to P, across to D, and we're looking for this angle here. What is that corresponding to? So this line here cuts that K to L line, that cuts the two parallel lines, as an alternate side, so it's 110 degrees, and the reason is corresponding. Okay, so use that example to do the we do. Pause the video. Okay, 3 seconds, and then I'm going to move on. There's your answers. I've typed the answers up on this one so as you can see it a bit more clearly. And there's the answers to the we do. Okay, right. Again, we're concentrating on alternate angles. So I want to find angle DNM. Sometimes you might see it written like this, DNM, the little hat on the N. It can also be backwards, MND. Okay, so but it does mean this angle here. What's it corresponding to? Okay, it's corresponding, sorry, what's it alternate to? It's alternate to AMC, but we don't know what AMC is. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of investigation. Okay, what other thing do we know? Look at this angle here, we're told that it's 66 degrees. Okay, so these two angles are opposite. So DMN equals 66 degrees. That's opposite or vertically opposite. Okay. Now we're asked to find AMN. Okay. What shape have we got here? We've got a Z. So it's alternate. So we now know that this is 66 degrees. So that means that AMN is also 66 degrees. And it's alternate to MND. Okay, so you pause the video and try the next question. Okay, 3-second warning, I'm moving on. There's your answers. Okay, so it used vertically opposite and then used alternate. Okay. Right, mark your work. Hopefully you've been able to understand that and you got that right. Have a go at these questions here. You've got about 10 minutes. Pause the video and work your way through them. Make sure you write the reasons in brackets, because that would be how you would get the mark. Okay. Right, if you haven't paused the video, pause it now, otherwise I'm moving on. 3-second warning. There's your answers. Mark your work. Okay, pause the video. So 3, 2, 1. Right, now we're going to look at corresponding angles. Okay, so corresponding angles are on the same side of the line that cuts through the two parallel lines. So first of all, A and B. So there's A and there's AB there. It's parallel to CD. Okay, these two lines cut it. So I'm looking for to find AGH. So there's A, there's G, and there's H. So it's this angle here. What angle is that corresponding to? Okay, so I can see I want an angle on the same side as this line. So F, and if you think about it, it looks the same, but that's not enough. So I've got a backwards F, so I can say AGH equals 55 degrees corresponding. Okay, it's in the same position as that. So DPL, you think about it, if you were walking along a footpath across a bridge, across a river, you would cross this bank of the river at the same angle as you would cross that bank. Okay, right, so we said AGH equals 55 degrees corresponding. Okay, we're going to look at DPL now. So D, go to D, go to P, and go to L. So it's this angle here. It's corresponding to this one. So DPL equals 82 degrees corresponding. Okay, you start the we do now and see how you go. Pause the video now and do the we do. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So here's your answers. I've typed up the answers for the first that I do just to make it look easier to copy. And there's your answers for the we do. Okay, right, moving on. Find the missing angle and give a reason. So it's QMB we want to find. So we go to Q, we go to M, and we go to B. So we want to find this angle here. Right, so there's your two parallel. A and B is parallel to C and Q. There's your line that cuts through it. So all this is 117, and that little square box means 90 degrees. So what we'll do is we'll say that QMB, so BMS, all of it is 117, and if we take away 90, take away, and it's 27 degrees. Okay, so you have a go at the next one, FOR. So you pause the video while that fire engine goes past and do the next question. Okay, 3, 2, 1. There's the answers. So mark your work, check you've got it right, and I'd like to reiterate that it's important that you draw the diagrams, and then that gives you a visual as well as a logic. Have a go at these questions. So about 10 minutes and see how you get on. Okay, so 3, pause the video, 3, 2, 1, answers. Mark your work. Check that you've understood it, check that you can find corresponding angles. Okay, so let's recap our success criteria. I can recognize alternate angles, right? So you're looking for angles at either side of the line that crosses the two parallel lines. I can recognize corresponding angles. So you're looking at angles on the same side. So you've got like an F shape and you've got a Z shape. And I can solve problems. So you can see things and use a bit of logic. And always start with the angles that you're given. Okay. So your next task is to go to Haggerty. And those two tasks need to be completed as part of this lesson. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. Thank you very much.